Just finished watching episode 1 of Stargirl. Stargirl is a new show on the CW. It's a DC property. I don't know if it's in the Arrowverse with all of the other superhero shows on CW. This one, I believe, is made for the DC streaming platform. So I kind of came in with more thoughts of, this is probably going to be like Titans or Doom Patrol. If you've watched either of those, they're a little bit more adult themed. I guess would be the best to say. Like there's some very graphic violence and some ridiculous language going on in Titans. Doom Patrol is very much a lot more adult themes, but with Stargirl also airing on the CW, I thought maybe this would land somewhere in between, but unfortunately it leaned a little bit more to the lighter-hearted CW vibe. So that was a little bit of a disappointment for me, but overall, this Stargirl, I don't have any background on it. I don't haven't read any comics. I'm not familiar with the character, so this is all fresh to me. So that side of things is very exciting. We start to learn, what's going on in this world. What type of world is it? We learn all about this Justice Society of America. We don't really get much info about it beyond that they quit 10 years ago, and later on we find out it's because they stopped the end of the world, whatever that means. And as we saw in the opening scene of the show, it looked like many of the members died in the whatever battle it was that they were taking place in, while it looked like many of the villains were unscathed. So that was kind of the backbone of where the story is. And then we see Starman die. Stripesy, that's Luke Wilson's character. He takes the cosmic staff, and that is the item that Starman uses for all of his power. And then we just jump ahead 10 years into the present day, and we meet this young girl, Courtney, and she's living with her mom and Pat. Pat also happens to be Stripesy from Starman's sidekick, and then Pat's son, I believe his name was Mike. So we didn't get too deep into anything. They move across the country to Nebraska. Courtney starts her new high school. Obviously, in every show, they have to depict high school students as just being a-holes, which was very bizarre to me because like 2 scenes earlier, they were establishing, hey, look how friendly everyone is in this small town in Nebraska. Everyone is so nice and friendly. And then it cuts to her being in high school, and we just immediately fall back to those same high school stereotypes that we see in every TV show that's ever been made. Like, I don't know about you, but I went to high school. There was no, jocks rolling around the school in their leather jackets bullying everyone. There were no mean girls looking to take their shot at the new girl. Like, it was just people. Like, yes, everyone was in their own little group, and maybe you call some of those groups cooler than the other groups, but we'd never had that violent bullying atmosphere that every TV show or comic book creator seems to think needs to be in any scene with a high school. So that was a little ridiculous and a little disappointing, considering that they just established like how nice and friendly this town is. I thought maybe we'd get a little bit of a different take there, but hopefully we don't get too deep into that world and we focus more on Stargirl and her interactions with the cosmic staff as she's learning everything with Stripesy. So that's the side of thing that more intrigues me. We also got to see one of our villains. I don't totally remember his name. It was Brain something. I want to say Brainiac, but obviously Brainiac is a different villain, more in the Batman realm of things, which yes is DC, but not really the vibe for this show. So I really enjoyed that, you know, it's all new superheroes. It's all people that, at least for myself, I haven't heard of. You know, we're not recycling Batman villains, or we're not taking those heroes from the Arrowverse and having them piggyback along for the ride. And I'm really hoping that they keep all of Stargirl separate. You know, it's gone. It's in its own place in Nebraska, so that's pretty cool. We can have its own little story there. And I really hope that they're able to develop, you know, that the more of that Justice Society of America. We can learn more about what was the world-ending threat that the Justice Society needed to stop and did stop 10 years ago. You know, we all have other mysteries like who is Courtney's father. You know, she wants to believe that it's Starman, and everyone's telling her no, it can't be Starman. We get his name, Sam Curtis, and then we find out that Starman's name was Sylvester Pendleton or Pembleton, something like that. And yeah, I'm just kind of interested to see where all of that goes. Like I said, I don't know much about Stargirl, so that's the exciting part to me, is finding all that out, learning what her origin is, why the staff chose her. You know, what's the bad guy doing in this small town in Nebraska? Why did Stripesy want to come to this small town in Nebraska? So all of that's interesting, and the car's a robot, so that's kind of cool too. We mix a little bit of Transformers in there. So that's going to be it for this week. I will try to be back on Tuesday for our second episode. Hopefully we learn a lot more about what's happening in this world. But until then, thank you for watching, and we'll see you later.